best crossovers in basketball history. Basketball is about the offense. The old saying goes, offense wins games, defense wins championships. Yeah, whatever. I want to see players knocking down those shots. The best a defender can hope for is to mitigate the damage that will be inflicted on them by the fantastic shooters in today's game. But all great shooters are also experts at getting themselves open. It does you zero good to be able to knock down shot after shot if you can't shake off a defender long enough to release a shot. So we have a complex matrix of screen setting, passing, weaving, and cutting to get open until finally a player gets an opening to score. But then there are those players who can take matters into their own hands and shake off their defender, ball in hand, and create their own opening to shoot. One of the classic moves used by these legends of the hardwood is known as the crossover, and it has been breaking ankles and taking names for decades, with no end to its reign of terror in sight. So in this video, we're going to see 6 of the best crossovers in basketball history. But wait, who do you think is going to be number 1? Heck, you may be able to name all 6. Pause the video right now and leave your predictions in the comments. I promise the winner will get the most lucrative of all prizes, bragging rights. Now, on to the crossovers.
Kobe!
With an incredible play! And I believe Darren Williams tried to dunk it.
12th three-pointer of the game! The brilliant shooting of Steph.
Number 6, Old Man Steve. Canadian-born baller Steve Nash was drafted into the NBA by the Phoenix Suns in 1996. He played an impressive 18 seasons, beginning with the Suns for a brief period, then a few years with the Dallas Mavericks, a long stretch back in Phoenix from 2004 to 2012, then wrapped it up with the Lakers before his retirement in 2015. He was an 8-time All-Star and 2-time Most Valuable Player. Nash was a pesky little point guard, always quick off the dribble, a lights-out shooter, and had these annoying little floaters that frustrated the larger defenders who stepped over to stop him near the basket. All these offensive weapons allowed him to rack up over 17,000 career points. Steve Nash enjoyed great longevity, and on his 40th birthday, he put all of his tools to work in Philly against the 76ers. The eye-blurring crossover scene here leaves the Sixers wondering what in the heck just happened, as he receives the ball and crosses over behind the back, causing his defender to freeze in place as Nash scoots on by. Number 5, Steph Curry. Gordon Stephen Curry II, as we all know him, Steph, took the basketball world by storm when he was drafted out of Davidson College by the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry shifted the scoring emphasis behind the three-point line, leading to the inflated points totals we see in today's NBA games. He's been called by many analysts and fellow players the greatest shooter of all time. But Curry isn't only a pure shooter. He has a devastating crossover, which is one of his many methods of creating open shots for himself to rack up so many points. So in this annihilating crossover unleashed on the Kings, Curry doesn't even need to dribble, as his opponent is so overcome by Steph's prowess that he takes a seat and lets Curry nail the three. Do you think Steph Curry has a chance of beating Kareem's all-time scoring record? Let us know, yes or no, in the comments. Number 4, LeBron for the miss. Here's something you don't see every day. Actually, make that 2 things you don't see every day. LeBron crosses over and sends his defender flying across the floor with ankles clearly shattered and zero pride left in his soul. Then King James, probably so stunned at what he just did to this poor fellow, unthinkably misses a wide open three. Number 3, Iverson gets to stepping. Allen Iverson grew up in a rough neighborhood, even having watched his own dad arrested for dealing drugs right in front of his young eyes. Even though he kept his own nose clean and was looked up to by many of the neighborhood kids, Iverson ran into some trouble toward the end of his high school career. During an altercation at a bowling alley, Iverson is said to have hit a woman in the head with a chair. Iverson was convicted and sentenced to 15 years in prison, invoking an obscure Virginia statute, originally passed way back when to prevent lynching mobs. The evidence was spotty at best, and after a few months in jail, the teenage Iverson was released due to lack of evidence. Because of this situation, he missed his senior year of basketball and had to complete his diploma at a school for high-risk kids. But the young Allen Iverson had been impressive enough already to intrigue Georgetown into offering him a full ride. Throughout his professional career, Iverson continued to have inexplicable run-ins with the law. He would be repeatedly accused of offenses and later have the charges dropped. He got in a screaming match with a poker dealer in a Trump casino that earned him some bad press. Iverson was even kicked out of an Atlantic City casino for urinating in a trash can. It's okay to laugh. Allen Iverson puts his bad boy image on display in the 76ers game against the Los Angeles Lakers. Iverson crosses over Tyronn Lue to create some space and sinks the shot from the baseline. When Lue is left sitting on the floor, Iverson steps over him as if to say, "Excuse me." Number 2, Iverson Jordan. In 1997, we see a much younger Iverson with a different haircut going one-on-one with veteran Michael Jordan. Jordan was a hero of Iverson's growing up, and now the young and rising star comes face-to-face with his role model. Jordan stands a full 6 inches taller than Allen and has years and years of experience on the young Iverson. Allen crosses him over to no avail and, after Michael thought he had endured the effort, crossed him over a second time to make enough space to score on his childhood idol. Honorable mention, the Professor. Before we go to number 1, we have an honorable mention, Grayson Boucher, better known as the Professor, a street baller who made the name for himself after hopping into an open tryout for the And One mixtape tour after he showed up to an event as a spectator. The Professor has a crossover that is just wicked. This and his many other mesmerizing moves have made him a street ball sensation and even earned him a spot in the Will Ferrell basketball movie Semi-Pro. Number 1, Bird breaking ankles. Larry Bird had nowhere near the athleticism of today's players. Kobe Bryant called him slow as sh**.
Bird tough to defend. Why? Because he looks slow as to me. So I'm missing something. So tell me what I'm missing.
But what he lacked in pure speed and strength, he made up for with refined skill and basketball smarts. And that's why he earns the number 1 spot on the greatest crossovers in basketball history. Bird's array of tools made his opponents tremble in fear, and here we watch him utterly destroy his defender's ankles with one lazy dribble. Did he even have to try? Your ankles hurt? Mine sure do. So let's call it a day. Before you go, remember to drop a comment below and let us know who your crossover artist of choice is. Now hit subscribe and go ice those ankles.